Blog Talk Radio.
Writing your book is the easy part. Promoting your book so readers can find and purchase it is the hard part. Welcome to the Author Chat Show, hosted by author-publisher Lynda D. Brown. Follow us at www.facebook.com/authorchat. And to contact the show to promote your book, contact me at theauthorchatshow@gmail.com. Stay tuned and listen to today's show.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Sunday edition of the Author Chat Show. I'm your host, Lynda D. Brown. My guest today is author and marketing guru, Kemya Scott. Kemya, who's known on social media as Miss Kemya, Miss Kemya Scott, will be chatting with us today to discuss how to create your own 90-day promotional campaign to sell more books. We'll be right back to talk to Kemya about this new campaign strategy after a word from today's sponsor.
PrimeStar Publicity and Public Relations is a full-service firm ready to fill the needs of their clients. Owner Helen Cook has more than 32 years of publicity, public relations, advertising, and marketing experience, and she focuses her professional talents on working with her clients' strengths to create customized, strategic campaigns, whether their needs are great or small. Radio, TV, print, internet, publicity, marketing, creating a social media presence, branding, client positioning, author tours, speaking events. These are just some of the services PrimeStar provides for their clients. For a complete list of services and other information about the company, please visit our website, www.primestarpublicity.com, or email Helen at helen.cook@primestarpublicity.com, or phone 903-654-0938. PrimeStar's home office is located in the Houston, Texas area.
All right, and welcome back to the show. For those of you just tuning in today, my guest is author and marketing guru, Kemya Scott. Kemya is going to be chatting with us on how to create your own 90-day promotional campaign to sell more books. This is Kemya's second time on the Author Chat Show, and Kemya, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Lynda. It's great to be back.
Well, wonderful to have you on. You have something very exciting that you want to share with our authors, and not only just authors, but I would say, Kemya, and you can tell me if you agree with me or not, but anyone can actually use these strategies that we're going to talk about today to actually promote their businesses or their services. Do you agree with that?
I totally agree. Absolutely.
Great. All right, so we're going to do something that we kind of really don't do a lot of on this particular show. And that is open up the phone lines. I've reached out to a lot of different authors through my Author Chat Facebook fan page and also through some of the other sites that I'm on where I promote authors, just to let them know that you are available to answer any questions they might have as you're discussing your strategy. So if you have any questions and you'd like to call in and chat with our guest, Kemya Scott, the number for you to call in is 424-675-8262. Again, that number is 424-675-8262. We've also opened up our chat room. Blog Talk Radio also has a chat room, so you can actually chat with me, and I can refer the questions over to Kemya, and we can discuss that as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, Kemya, since this is the second time you've been on the show, for those that might have missed your first appearance, why don't we get started by you telling us a little bit about yourself and your background with marketing?
Absolutely. Thank you, Lynda. Well, as Lynda said, my name is Kemya Scott. I'm otherwise known as Miss Kemya online, and I am a marketing and social media strategist for small businesses who do not have full-time marketing staff. So I pretty much help you figure out how to market your business, how to get visibility in front of your desired audience. I work with all types of businesses, from solopreneurs, service-based entrepreneurs, whether you have a product, whether you're an author, whether you are trying to figure out how to expand your products and service offerings. I help people with all of that. I'm also a trainer, and I train people and particularly corporations on how to use social media to get the desired results. Because quite frankly, social media is still a relatively new phenomenon, even though it's been around, for years. To me, it is still relatively new as opposed to traditional marketing, like your offline yellow pages and offline radio shows, things like that. So I help train corporate entities on how to really maximize the existing material they have and use it for social media interaction and engagement. I connected with Lynda because I do have a best-selling ebook. It's called I'm on Social Media, Now What Do I Say? And that is the title of the book. So if you go on Amazon, you can take a look at that. And I'm really telling you, whether you have an account on social media or not, if you are trying to figure out what content to share on social media and how to get people engaged, I'm going to tell you what to say on social media. That's a little of what I do. My background is in marketing. You have a master's in marketing, so I understand the foundation of marketing, and then social media is just icing on the cake. So I help people with traditional offline strategies as well as digital marketing strategies to really just get results and help you get the visibility you need so that you can sell more stuff, whatever that stuff might be, whether it's books for Lynda's listeners or whether it's handbags, whether it's any service that you may offer. I help you get the visibility.
And Kemya, that is indeed the most important thing. Even as I've been doing this with the Author Chat Show since 2011, it amazes me how many people will take the time and effort to write a book and not realize that that's just one part of your job. Your second job is that you're going to have to make that book available for people. You've got it so people will know about it. That visibility factor that you just mentioned is so important. People have to know how they can find your book, how they can find out more about you. So it's kind of mind-boggling to me, Kemya, and you can just kind of tell me if you've experienced this, that people are not really willing to, how should I say this, and be politically correct. They're not eager to part with their money. They're not eager to part with their money to promote their book or to market their products and services. And it's like, if I can't find you, I can't buy from you. Tell me if this is the issue you've run into and some of the things that you do to try to counteract that mindset.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Lynda. It astounds me as well, and I always, particularly when it comes to authors, a lot of times I say, you poured your heart and soul into this book, whether it's a short format, quick ebook, or whether it's a full-length novel. No matter what it is, you had to invest something to get this book produced. It's not necessarily cash you invested, but you invested a lot of sweat and a lot of time. And time is just as important an investment as cash is, if not more so, because you can get cash back. You cannot get your time back. And so I find it fascinating that so many authors, like you said, are not willing to part with their money and invest to get the exposure their book deserves. And so everyone wants to be an author. You know, that's one of the ladies' things, that everyone wants to be an author. But everyone doesn't want to do what it takes to get their book in the hands of the people who need it most. And that's how, when I was trying to figure out what we would talk about today, I said, okay, this is a great thing to talk about, how to create your own 90-day promotional campaign to sell more books, because quite frankly, authors are not marketing their books. They'll tell people, buy my book, particularly on social media. As you know, I've said, they'll say, oh, buy my book, but they don't tell me why. They don't tell me where, and they don't tell me how. So if all you're saying is buy my book and I don't know you, I'm not your cousin, I'm not a relative or a friend, that's why so many authors, their sales, they publish a book and their sales just disappear. Because after that initial rush of your family and your friends, you're not doing anything else to build your author platform. And so today I want to share just a few things that you can get started on right now to create your own promotional campaign. The reason I said 90 days is because if you look at your investment in chunks of time, I'm not going to tell you how to create a promotional campaign, period. I'm going to give you, let's fast track it, let's compress your activities, because that's what's going to get you the biggest bang for your buck. If you think about it as aiming, you have to have a target to aim for. And if you build a lot of buzz and you have a certain campaign, you build a lot of buzz, you create mass exposure in a condensed period of time, there's far more likelihood that you can see results than if you just, 1 week I'm going to do this, and then next month, I haven't been marketing my book. Next month I'm going to write a blog post about it. 2 months down the line, I'm not selling books. I'm going to do, I'm going to put it on Kindle for free. That's why you're seeing minimal results, because you don't have an organized campaign to where people are constantly seeing and hearing about you. That's what's going to get people interested. And so what I'll do, I'll share some things. So I'm going to, like I said, you're really going to aim it. So if you think of AIM as AIM, advertising plus interviews equals mass exposure. That's what we're going to talk about today. Advertising plus interviews equals mass exposure. So the first thing is about advertising. Advertising, I'm not just talking about spending money. I'm talking about the visibility side. So you can spend money or cross-promote with people that you know in the industry. You can put your book on book promotional websites. You can have bloggers. Review your book and give you feedback. Maybe they can post a blog post about it, like people have done for my book. You can chat in different forums that relate to the theme of your book. If you have a mailing list, you can send out targeted newsletters to where, let's say, for example, you have a mailing list and you discuss 4 or 5 themes in your book. You can pick out a particular theme and create an email campaign based on that particular theme. Another thing you can do as far as advertising, simply ask for reviews. If you don't have reviews, ask for them. And in turn, you can offer something additional. You can ask your friends and family to do reviews. If you've exhausted all those areas, publish in Facebook groups and say, hey, I'll give you a review copy. I'm just looking to increase my reviews. I want some feedback. You can publish a request, like I said, in Facebook groups or different forums. If you're a part of any blogging communities or any author communities, you all can read each other's books and give each other reviews. It can literally be as simple as that. But that's a great way to get in front of people with or without spending money, but that's a way to advertise your book, because when you're asking for reviews, you're also subtly promoting your book. You're just not doing it in a sales pitchy way. When you're asking a blogger to review your book, if they review your book and they post a blog review about it, again, that's advertising. They're talking about your book because they're going to have the book cover. They're going to have the links to where I can buy the book. They're going to have your picture. They're going to have your bio. That's advertising as well. And, again, you can also spend a few dollars if you want to place ads on a different book promotional website. You can do that as well. You can also create a book trailer. A lot of people create a book trailer when their book comes out, but they stop there. You can have more than one book trailer for your book. So you can pick out, again, going back to the topics of your book. If you have 2, 3, 5 topics in your book, you can create a book trailer for each one of those topics. So you have your overall book trailer that you may or may not have done when your book launched, or you're going to do when your next book launches. But you can do a series of book trailers. So you can post those videos in different forums. Let's say, for example, my book is about social media. There's a chapter on Twitter. So let's say, for example, I created a book trailer, but it's just about Twitter. When I go market that book trailer, I'm going to market it to all the key influencers on Twitter directly. Those are the people I want sharing it. I have a chapter on Pinterest. So I'm going to hook up with a bunch of lifestyle bloggers and create a book trailer all about the Pinterest chapter. And then I'm going to connect with all of them and reach out to them and share it with them. So, again, that's something else that's advertising, but in a non-sales pitchy way. But another thing I wanted to make sure I mentioned is people don't really think about the social media side, aside from posting a text post to buy my book. You can update all your social media covers to reflect your book. So that's your Twitter cover. That's your Facebook company page cover. If you have a LinkedIn page, that cover. You can update your personal profile on Twitter. It doesn't just have to be your fan page. So you can have, if you have one book or one upcoming book, you can put your book cover on your social media banner / cover with the name of the book, a picture of the book cover, your name, maybe where they can reach it if it's like a short link, like a bit.ly link or an Amazon short link, or even your website name if you want to do that. But you can also create social media graphics to share. They can have your book cover on it. They can have a quote about the book, or you can have a graphic that says coming soon or launching in 13 days, those type of things. Really make it fun because social media is all about social. But, again, you have all kind of digital real estate. If you're online, you have all types of digital real estate you can use to subtly put that book cover out, put your name out there. And even if you don't do all of these things I'm telling you to do, if you just do some of them, but you do them in a concentrated period, like I said, a 90-day promotional period, you'll get the maximum results. Because let's say, for example, I'll use Lynda. Let's say, for example, your book is coming out, okay, and you have the cover done. So you update the Author Chat Facebook fan page, but then you also update your Twitter cover, and then you post a blog post about where you were interviewed. And then you send out a couple, ask for a couple reviews and testimonials. And when you get them back, not only can you put them on Amazon, but you can put those on your website. Or you can create a tweet out of a quote in a review. So let's say you're doing all of this, but you're doing it at the same time. I can't help but see you. I can't help but see you got this book coming out. Why? Because you're talking about it. You're constantly talking about it. But you've never told me to buy your book. I'm just seeing it in different forms on different platforms. That's what I mean by getting that mass exposure.
Wow.
So let's see. I know that was a lot, but again, you can just take bits and pieces of it. So the next thing is AIM. I said advertising plus interviews. What you can do, I briefly mentioned interviews where, you can ask bloggers to interview you about your book, and they can write a blog post, or you can ask them to review your book. I specifically am talking about interviews here. So what you can do is let's suppose I was pitching Lynda to interview me about this. Okay, and I didn't know her. She didn't know me. We had no connections anyway. What you can do as an author is you can prep 5 questions you want an interviewer to ask you. When you pitch someone to interview you, you don't just say, oh, this is me, I'm so fantastic, and this is my book. No, you want to make it easy for that interviewer to say yes. So if you send them your media kit, which is just your headshot, your bio, your book blurb, a cover of the book, where you may or may not have been featured on, and your social media handles, and then say, hey, this is the topic that I'm looking to be interviewed on, and these are 5 questions that I already prepared in advance that would be great to help you, figure out what we can talk about. Imagine how easy you're making it for a host to say yes. You're making it super easy for them to say yes, aren't we, Lynda? You'd be like, thank you.
Absolutely. And as a host, to have someone like Miss Kemya come on, and she was so prepared and actually we set this interview up a couple months ago, and she was like, okay, I'll think about what it is we can discuss, and she did, and she came up with this, and I thought this was a great way for authors to learn how to really start tying in the fact that you've got your book, now you've got to figure out a way to get it into the hands of other people. Your 90-day promotional campaign to sell more books is a perfect way for you to get the information that you need. Now, before we go any further, Kemya, let me again just give out the number. If there are any authors that are listening to the show that have any questions about what we've already covered, which is A, because we're talking about AIM, advertising, industry, and then mass exposure. So we just got finished talking about the advertising aspect of it. If you have any questions for Kemya about that, please call in to 424-675-8262, or you can log on to the blogtalkradio.com and actually find my show, which is Author Chat Show, and I actually have the chat room open. So you could just send me a link, and I'll read your chat right over the air and give the question to Miss Kemya so she can answer it. But while we're waiting for you guys to call in or to chat with us, let's go ahead and continue with the I, which is interview. And you're right.
The interview.
There are so many podcasts that are out here looking for people to interview. What she said, and repeat again, Miss Kemya, what you said about how to get that marketing kit together, send it to somebody, and have those questions ready for them, and how easy that is.
It really is. So what you'll do is, if you don't have one, create a media kit. And in your media kit, it's simply your headshot, your bio, the cover of your book, and send it to them in a graphic format, in a JPEG or PNG format. Don't just send them to where it is online. Send that to them in the email if you want to get interviewed. The point is to make everything so easy that they just want to say, yes, I'd love to have you on the show. So, again, it's your headshot, it's your bio, it's your book blurb. Have it in paragraph form. Don't just say my book is about such and such. Even if you need to have it professionally done, have 1 or 2 paragraphs about your book that the author can reference. Your bio, send them a short bio, anywhere from 50 to 100 words. But then if you have a longer 250-word bio, send that as well, because you don't know which one they'll want, and you should have that already ready for them. And again, when it comes to the topic, give them the title of the interview that you'd like to do, and prep about 5 questions for the interviewer to ask you. The reason I say 5, I say that specifically for a reason, because you want to give them enough that they don't have to figure out what to ask you about the book, but you want to leave room in case they have questions that they ask every single guest. So don't send them 10 or 20 questions and tell them to pick. You don't want to make the host have to work for you. That's why I say send them 5. And then what you do, you put that together, you send them that information, but you may be thinking, okay, but how am I going to find who I want to interview me? I can see some people scratching their head now, so I'm going to tell you how to find them. There are tons of Blog Talk radio shows. There are tons of podcasts. Hit the Google button and Google whatever you write about radio show. So for me, I would Google marketing radio show, social media radio show, social media podcast, top business podcast. That's what I would Google, because that's who I'm talking to, and that's who I need to listen to me. I market to businesses. If you're an author, and let's say your book is for, single city women, Google single women's podcast. Google a podcast or a radio show that may be in your city. You can do it by geographic location as well. If you want it to be available for in-person book signings and take it a step further, find those radio shows and podcasts where people are broadcasting from your city. But again, you can do all of that online. You can Blog Talk Radio and Podcast Source. You can find tons of people to interview you. And once you have all these things put together, take a look at what they talk about on their podcast or their radio show. Slightly tailor your introduction to them and maybe your title to them so that it looks like it's custom. It's not just you creating this and you simply spamming a bunch of emails. And when you do email a host, send it individually. Don't send them as a group to 20 people at one time, because I'll tell you right now, I never read those. If it's not important enough for you to send me a personal email, I guarantee I will not read it. So you send them one by one by one. And like me, I actually have a spreadsheet of all these different podcasts and all these different radio shows, and just one by one I connect with them. You can connect with them on social media and tweet them, hey, I'd love to be a guest on your show. That's how I get some things. post on their Facebook page or send them a message. You don't have to just hit Google and send emails. If you're relatively social media savvy, send some Facebook posts or some tweets. Reshare their stuff. Like Lynda said, join the chat room so they can see who you are. That's how you really use interviews to ultimately get the M and aim, which is mass exposure. If you condense these things that I've said instead of saying, okay, this month I'm going to just do interviews. If you really looking to get the biggest bang for your buck, for your marketing dollars or for your investment of time and effort and sweat to really get this book in front of people, you want to use this AIM strategy as a 60 or a 90-day promotional campaign. So you want to sit and probably replay this and write all these little pieces down. And what you want to do is you want to sit and make lists of blogs you want people to review you or interview you on. You want to make lists of radio shows and podcasts. Put together that media kit. It doesn't have to be expensive or necessarily uber professional. I created my media kit in PowerPoint and use it all the time. It does the job. It does what I need it to do. I have all the materials I need. So you can hire somebody to create it, or if you have all the information, create it yourself. That's totally fine. But the advertising with the forums, with the blogs, with the book promotions, with your social media covers, with your book trailer, with your posts asking for reviews and testimonials and posting them all over the place, plus your interviews. That includes your media kits, your questions, to the radio shows, to the podcasters. That media kit, again, includes your headshot. It includes your bio as an author. It includes your cover for your book. It includes a book blurb about your book. And then it can also include places you've been seen or featured. It can have the logos. It can have any media mention and your social media handles. That's all it needs to have. If you are not Starbucks or Nike, it does not have to be that serious. That's one of those big celebrity brands. I mean, I tell people that because they get so overwhelmed. Oh, it sounds like a big deal. It is not. You are not. If you're not that celebrity status, you do not have to have all that stuff. It can be 10 pages max. You have to tell people, you have to impress the host. Why does the host want to interview you? Well, I've been featured on this, and these people have talked about me. I've been mentioned here. These are my social media handles. You see, I'm social media savvy, so you know I'm going to promote the show. They're like, oh, yeah, we want you. It is really is that simple. And tell them, Lynda can tell you, she's the host. It is that simple.
It is honestly that simple. It really, really is. And believe it or not, we actually have a question through the chat line. One of my questions from one of the authors is this. Can I use these strategies for my pre-release? So, because now, even as an independent author or indie publisher, you can now do pre-releases. Amazon allows you to do pre-releases. So can these strategies also be used for a pre-release?
Absolutely. And you're actually ahead of the game if you use them for the pre-release, and here's why. You're not going to be able to connect with all these people in the same day. And so this is the type of campaign that you want to sit and plan out. When is the best time that you can be available? When is the best time that you can really rock it on social media? If August and your kids are going back to school and you're overloaded with parent-teacher meetings and you got to go up to the school and all this shopping and you don't have time to be looking on social media. You can't even get to your emails often. August is probably not a good time for you to be trying to do this. So with the pre-release, when you're going to have that scheduled, that's a perfect time to incorporate these things because people that want to interview authors, they want to talk about what's coming up, and then you can pitch it to them as I want to connect with 5 authors for an interview. I'm not trying to connect with 100. I'm doing a pre-launch campaign, and I'm trying to connect with specific people. And again, if you want to spend a few dollars and do like paid advertising, that's when you would do it. Just be very strategic about who you want to connect with, because a part of that mass exposure is cross-promoting and finding partnerships with other people. Exactly. And so you can do that. And whether you have a pre-launch or not, what I will also encourage people to do is look at live events that are going on in your area. Look for opportunities to where you can get in front of people. If there's a live event, no matter how small or big, can you pitch yourself as part of this campaign, can you pitch yourself as a speaker? Can you be a vendor? You know, there are certain things. Can you provide a free book in the gift bags for the speakers? Maybe you can't afford to provide a free book for everyone, but maybe if they have 5 speakers, you can provide a free book to 5 speakers. So there's no reason why you can't do that. That's part of your mass exposure.
Wow. Can you believe our time is already up for today? And Kemya, I know we have so much more that we could actually share on this particular subject. So trust me when I say I'm going to leave some space for you in December so that we can revisit this again, because this is July, August, September, October, November. So August, September, October. So that would give, at least if you get started today with this, with the information that Kemya just gave you to start your 90-day promotional campaign. And trust me, I'm going to do this starting because August 1st is right around the corner. So I'm going to target August 1st as my first day of my 90-day journey to actually do a promotional campaign for 2 books. I've got one, a fiction book that I'm getting ready to release that should have been released, but we won't go there. and one, I was sharing with Kemya, and I'm going to share this with my listening audience as well, and also had an opportunity to share this with Tashina Davis, who actually connected me with Miss Kemya. And again, we're going to try to get together and do a show with all 3 of us on here. Because honestly, guys, I mean, this type of information that we have access to, that we're giving to you, you would pay an arm and a leg to get this type of information, and not just information that's like right off the top of somebody's head or they're just assuming. These are things that we actually do and put into practice each and every day. So this is why you want to always tune in and listen to someone like Kemya, who is seriously, she is so incredibly good that if I could just turn all my marketing over to her, not only for my book, but also with my show, trust me, I would. Because you're really, honestly, you're really just that good. And I really appreciate you coming on and sharing your strategies and your expertise to my listening audience on my show. It means the world to me.
Thank you. I enjoy what I do, as you can tell. So I really enjoy it. And I love talking to you, yes. I already got down December.
Absolutely. And I'm going to make sure, as a matter of fact, I got my little planner right here because the weekend show has been taken off because, again, and I just have to give you credit. The last time you were on and we talked about the blog, that, you know, she kind of, for those that didn't listen, she kind of, honestly, I have to admit this. My blog, she tore it up so bad. I was like, oh, my God, I can't even write on there anymore. Honestly, and this is no reflection on you. It's just me. And I think a lot of authors tend to do this. So this is why I have no problem just putting it out there. Your critique of my website, of my blog, was so on point. But it was on point, but it left me confused as to how do I now get my message out? Because one thing that you had mentioned was that it's very wordy. And like we're authors, so we do words.
Yes,
and so it's like, okay, so what do I do to make this more appealing to someone that can get the message but don't need the whole litany of information that I'm giving you in order to get it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of, and of course, you know, doing all this, I'm still struggling to figure out the best way to do that. So when I get some time, Kemya, I really do want to do some consulting with you. So, paid consulting, because this is what you do. So you can help me get where I need to be with not only my blog, but also the show. This show, something, and what I've been telling myself and sharing with other people is when the states in the Bible, don't despise small beginnings. That is so true. When I started doing this show in 2011, it was just really something to do, just to kind of help out a couple of author friends that I knew, to get them away, a way for them to really kind of get some exposure for their books. But it has grown so much that now we're doing 3 shows a week.
Yes,
and It's awesome. I'm booked up. The Saturday, Sunday broadcasts are booked up till like December, which is why I said I definitely got to get a spot for you in December. So as soon as I hang up, I'm going to shoot you some dates while I got the book open, so that way we can get that firmed up. And then my Wednesday show just started taking off. So it's like, this is, and I say this again, God created us for such a time as this, because now we're able to do this on our own merits without having to jump through a whole lot of other people's hoops to be able to do what it is that we enjoy doing and what we love doing. And you guys have got to take advantage of this. It's just free information that you would be paying an arm and a leg for. And we're here to give it to you free. Because, we understand what you're doing, and we love what you're doing. We're doing it as well, and we just want to help you get the best product out there and into the hands of people that, here's what you have to think of, people that need it. Kemya, there's a prayer book that I had, it was released in 2012. Can I tell you that now I have Facebook pages for all of my different books. Can I tell you that this prayer book, with everything that's going on in the world, is getting more hits from more people from around the world? I get more hits from people on the other side of the world that's like, can you pray for me for this? Can you pray for me for that? You never know whose life you're going to touch with your book, with your product, with your service. So it's really important that you learn the best possible way to get your book, product, or service into the hands of many, just like she said, mass exposure. So that way you never know who you're going to really help. All right, that being said.
That is wonderful.
Well, and it's so true. It's just mind-boggling to me. So we're actually pretty much done for today, but Miss Kemya, before you go, tell us how we can reach you and reach out to you online. How can we contact you?
Okay, well, you can always find me at misskemya.com. It's MISSKEM like Mary, YA.com. You can find me at marketingsparkler.com, which is my company site. You can find me on Facebook as Miss Kemya. You can find me on Twitter as Miss Kemya. You can find me on Pinterest as Miss Kemya. You can find me on Instagram as Miss Kemya. And then I'm on LinkedIn under my name, Kemya Scott. So I'm all across social media. I'm in different forums, different websites, too many to mention. But, again, you can find me on my personal website at misskemya.com. It has links to everything that you want to know. And then you can also just go to my company site at marketingsparkler.com. And then it also has a link to my Amazon book.
Exactly. And you know what, Kemya, I was actually looking at your new, and again, this woman, I'm telling you guys, marketing guru. You can see her new website, marketingsparkler.com. So, of course, while we're getting this interview set up, I go to the website, and I'm like, oh, here we go. This is just absolutely gorgeous. But you know what? But there's something on there that really caught my attention. And I was wondering if this is something that we might be able to discuss in December, along with where we are with our 90-day promotional campaign, or maybe even do it as a separate show. I don't know how your Wednesdays are, because I think this is something that might go really well over on a Wednesday. Look, or I might even have to revamp my Friday show from an evening show to a morning show because I'm currently working another job in the evening. But you have Pinterest. It's so huge. I have like 2 boards on Pinterest. But you have on your site, and I'm going to see if I can get there real quick, how to make money on Pinterest.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's a whole show. Yes. I'm writing that down now.
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, exactly. Because not only can you start marketing your books on Pinterest, but again, products, services, or, other things that you might have. Pinterest is a gold mine. You would not believe how many people are actually using Pinterest on a daily basis. So I'm gonna when I submit this email to you as soon as this show is over, it's gonna be. Should we do that I think we should do that as a separate show.
Totally. I'm writing that down now. How to make money on
Pinterest
as an author. I just wrote that down. Okay,
great.
Oh, that would be fun.
Now, see how easy that was, guys? See how easy it was for me to book another interview, two actually, with Miss Kemya to come back on my show and share her expertise with me. That's just how simple it is. There are people looking for authors to come on and promote their book, just to actually, looking for content, just to get, make sure that they have enough airtime to just actually do a program. So it's out there, guys. You just have to really listen to the people that are doing this on a regular basis. And we're not talking mind control here, but can you kind of do a little bit about what we tell you to do? How you can get to that next level.
That's it. My joke is, if I just do half of what I know, can't do it all, just half. Just try half. Just do something. Don't get stuck in overwhelm and get frustrated. Just work with, this is a 30-minute show. Hit the replay button, take notes, just do this piece.
Exactly.
And you'll see results.
Exactly. Now, she just shared with us in this 30 minutes, which is going into 40 minutes, she showed us not only how to use advertising to promote your book, how to get on interviews and get on radio shows, but then she also shared with us how to create a media kit. You need a media kit. And a lot of authors don't have a clue when I say, send me your EPK, electronic press kit or media kit. And you need to know these things if you're going to be taken serious in this market.
Absolutely.
Okay? Well,
right.
Well, Miss Kemya, trust me when I tell you we're going to have you right back on here. I'm going to ask you to be the Author Chat Show resident specialist when it comes to the different strategies. Absolutely. When people have questions about how do we do this, how do we do that, I'm going to ask you to be our resident specialist. So that way you can find out from somebody that does this, that has the background on how to do this. Because a lot of the stuff, Kemya, I taught myself. So having someone like you who really has a degree in this and like I said, is working it on a regular basis, to have you as like my fall guy is just absolutely great. And guys, this is free information that you would pay, again, an arm and a leg for elsewhere. So I really hope that you take advantage of it. But Kemya, thank you so much for coming on the show again and sharing your wisdom, your book. I'm on social media now. What do I say? Your website, your strategies, and we're looking forward to having you back on here again soon.
Thank you. I can't wait. I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Anytime, sweetheart. Now, you go and enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll catch you back here next time on the Author Chat Show.
Thank you.
Oh, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, again, that was author and marketing guru, Kemya, Kemya Scott. This woman is a powerhouse of information. You can catch her at marketingsparkler.com, marketingsparkler.com. Of course, I'm putting her information on the Author Chat Facebook fan page. Today's topic, how to create your all 90-day promotional campaign to sell more books. She told us about AIM, advertising, interviewing, and mass exposure. Then she even told you how to create a media kit and she even told you where to go. She said she creates hers using PowerPoint. You can't pay for this type of information for free. So again, always try to tune in with us, guys. This is what we do. We love it. We love what you're doing, and we want to make sure that you're successful doing it. Okay, so we will be right back on Wednesday for the Wednesday morning edition of the Author Chat Show. Just like I mentioned, the show is just growing and growing by leaps and bounds. So we'll be talking to author Joe Libby, the secrets to planning your fun, memorable, and stress-free birthday party for kids. So this would be something that all of our blogger mommies would be interested in tuning into. All right, so thank you again for joining us today. Hope this was as rewarding for you as it was for us to share it with you. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll catch you right back here Wednesday on the Author Chat Show. Goodbye.